Hello everybody and welcome back to more Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It's been brought to my attention now that I actually stopped playing in that first sitting and edited footage and looked back that I did miss quite a bit of stuff out. The sort of transition scenes that we had from Wendy and from Lizzie are actually available for all of the characters. You're supposed to get those scenes, those final scenes, and I was really gutted when I found that out. But this is what happens when you play a game for the first time and you do it blind. You know, it takes a little while to get used to the controls and the mechanics and stuff. And as thorough as I was being, like with Jeremy's especially, it's so easy to miss things out. The phone going off here. Oh, well, that is a familiar looking fire. I think most houses in the 80s had a fire that looked like that, and like
Station
fire
Master's
that looked
house.
exactly
Howard
like that.
speaking. Howard, it's Clive. Clive Smith. I need you to listen to me and not ask questions or interrupt. Can you do that? Yeah, I can. But why are you calling? The Emergency Measures Committee is imposing a quarantine around the valley. We've got an influenza outbreak in the village. We're suspending rail services, and we're also going to be shutting down the roads for a bit. You're going to be dealing with some anxious people, Howard, so you need to explain it's all under control, and we'll be back to normal in a few days. All right? Open up the emergency store. There's posters and boards, along with a bunch of stuff that hasn't been used since the war. Grab anything you think might be useful. I need you to close up any unoccupied buildings, put posters up, that sort of thing. Make sure everything is all squared away and shipshape. You are a military man, I'm sure you understand that. Everyone doing their bit, following their orders. All right? All right? I think. Good man. I knew we could count on you. Ah, Jesus, Maze. What the hell was that?
That, dear Howard, was it getting into the phone lines. One thing I haven't been doing is manipulating the TVs. I think most of them, if not all of them, are just that signal, but there might have been a few that weren't. I'm going to kick myself when I do another playthrough of this and I find stuff that I've missed. It just seems to be one of those kind of games. Definitely. It has a lot of books. Everything is neat and tidy, but you would expect as much from a military man. Like, all the doors are even closed, you know, there's no doors open. Oh gosh, blood. It's quite dark in here, but another green bathroom, essentially. Yep, blood. More blood. Howard clearly got sick and infected. Oh, he's one of the first people, perhaps, to come into contact with Stephen. Definitely likes his trains. Station master. It's binoculars too. Wow. It's pretty neat. I love this game. I really do. Just all of it is just so well done. Any tissues beside the bed? Yes, we are seeing this. It is a recurring theme. People who come into contact with a certain Mr. Appleton got sick. They too became infected. This one's closed. That is a very big pylon. Choo choo. Ah, this must be the main train station. Crossing Tipworth Road. Hello. Ah, don't like crossing them. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to. I can't seem to get up to the actual station.
Repeating over and over to myself in the dark, eating cold food from a can with my fingers. My name is Catherine Collins. I am Catherine Collins. As if I can force the world to acknowledge my existence. Time has ceased to exist in any real terms. I'm reduced to marking out the days on the walls. Like a cave woman.
The pattern seems to have taken, or is trying to take, a lot of what makes Kate away from her. Interesting concept. The light on you. I admit, I know there is no one around, there's no trains running, everything's off, but I still feel very, very unsafe walking down the train tracks. Do not feel safe. Wharton and Tipworth. Hope none of these rails are electrified. Don't even know if they were electrified in those days. There doesn't seem to be cables running over the top of them. So perhaps they were. They appear to be turned off fully. People were trying to leave in droves. There's a station over there. I want to go and look in this station. I don't want to leave before I look in the station. There is a light in here. I've also been told by my beloved that I've been doing these things wrong and making life a lot more difficult for myself with them. You're not supposed to shake the controller, you're supposed to tilt it, and it's actually very, very simple. So, see. Oh, would you look at that?
Darling Stephen, I don't know if you'll ever listen to this. Maybe you've decided to stay with Kate, and I can't blame you for that. But I can't wait for you either. I've got to think about the baby. And, well, I should have left a long time ago. I've run out of excuses for not leaving now. But I do love you, Stephen. And I hope you find peace one way or another. Oh, there's planes coming.
Wow. Yes, that sums up Lizzie's story. I've noticed when I'm emotional, I'm sorry. When the moment comes, when a character's death comes about, the lights go up. So, yeah, was it for Lizzie. It's quite sad. The moment she found some inner strength to actually walk away and think for herself, you know. It's very sad. Oh, that got me. Silly game. Silly game. This damn game. It's got me very emotional a few times. Yeah, I've been discussing this game with Barry. We've been talking about it a lot today. We've had to be careful because he's seen things that I haven't seen, and I've seen things that he doesn't appear to have seen. And he had a theory regarding Lizzie, regarding what might have happened to Lizzie. He wasn't sure whether that was definitely the last you would see of Lizzie, or if something else, another occurrence earlier on applied to Lizzie. But as I said, I've noticed when I was editing back some of the footage that when it's the last scene of a character, you know, when the moment is where they obviously died, you know, the lights actually spiral upwards. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where Lizzie ended up. Was on her way out. Though I said before, it didn't seem like they were actually letting people out on the trains, so I don't know whether she actually would have gotten out, whether she was going to take this path that Stephen was had mentioned that they were going to try and get out through. I don't think she was going to try and leave on a train. So I feel like there's something over there, but Stephen was kind of lurking around the steps over here, so I just want to check them out and make sure I'm not missing anything.
I've never seen it.
They do, though.
You're overreacting.
Stephen, they stare at me. Yesterday I went into the village and this old woman just stopped in the middle of the street and stared at me like I had two heads.
Oh, don't be so melodramatic.
I'm like a walking freak show. Oh, this place, it's so insular. I just don't understand how you grew up here.
Well, I was very different then. And they're not so bad, really.
That's easy for you to say.
Just give it a bloody chance, Kate. This was the deal. A year here, and we could be in with a real shot at Messiah.
Stephen!
Oh, Christ, it's Lantham.
Stephen Appleton, I thought it was you. What's all this about a young wife? Oh. Hello.
Two heads, Stephen. Hi, I'm Kate.
I've wondered as well about Kate. Obviously, we have no idea what these characters actually looked like. But from hearing her talk, she sounds a lot like she's voiced by a voice actress that I've seen in a different game. And that character that voice actress played was African American. I wonder if Kate is not just an American, but an African American. I wonder if she's and that's, you know, why she stands out as well so much, because, you know, I'm not being funny or anything, and I'm not trying to be controversial here, but in very small British villages like this, it's not very multicultural, and it wouldn't have been very multicultural in the 80s. So yeah, something to ponder. One of the brilliant things about this game is, I've been talking to Barry about, is, you know, it doesn't hold you by the hand. You have to find things for yourself, but it leaves so many things open for, you know, interpretation. It's mostly left for you to interpret the characters and, you know, the interactions between the characters. Like, I'm sure me and him have differing views on some of the characters, and different views on what certain things are or what certain things have meant. Where that's why it's such a good game, because it really, really gives you things to talk about. It really does give you things to talk about. And Stephen is down there. Just want to check along here, make sure I haven't missed anything else, but it appears that's where the roads led off from before. It's quite confusing because you take like this diverging path, these like through the roads, through the woods, through the side streets, through the footpaths, and then you come back out and you're like, okay, so I can go this way or I can go that way, but what's back up that way? Oh, that's kind of where I just was. It's difficult. Well, not difficult. It's a little bit challenging to figure out where exactly you are sometimes and not completely lose your way. If we come back down to the village here, is that at the pub? That's the pub. Let me have a good look at this. Right. Kinda hard to see little Tipworth up at the top. We are back there. Been around to the station. Yeah, it looks like it's one big circle, essentially. I need to find Stephen, really, and keep an eye on him and follow him, because, well, not so much with Jeremy's story, but with Frank's story, definitely. I didn't follow the light, and I clearly missed a lot. Where are you going? Where is he? I'm here. Where are you going? Back down here. Okay, so let's follow him back down this way. Yeah, it seems like the ones, the scenarios, the character scenarios I did best at, Wendy to a certain extent, but most definitely Lizzie's, I was, you know, I pretty much followed the light the whole time. And so I got most of the scenes. Is there something in this bus stop? Ah, a radio. Thank you, Stephen.
Physical changes are evident. Although the butterfly burn is now faded, I can clearly see the change in my pores up close. As I record these words, I can feel myself hearing them as if for the first time, as if I'm both speaker and listener simultaneously. I am a scientist. I can only deal with the evidence I have. And this points in one simple direction. It's not in the observatory.
Nope. Oh.
It's in me.
Stephen was trying to tell you that, but I think so, because Stephen says he was a primary conduit, and well, Kate may very well have been too, although it appears she fused herself with it. If there's one piece of advice that I will give you for this game, if you're playing it for the first time, or if you're playing it in a way that you want to experience as much as you can, follow the lights. You know, they are there to show you where all of the things are. Like this, he's racing over there now. He's racing off to essentially show me something else that I've missed. And if I follow him, you know, where all the paths lead, it should take me through the whole of his story. I shouldn't miss anything. I lost Frank completely in his. I don't recall actually following him around at all. The fields were so wide and open. It was such a big area. And definitely will be going back to that area. I think he went in there. We've been in there. Get around here. Oh, Stephen, I don't think I can follow you. Here we are. What is it? Get back in here? Oh, I see.
kick. What do you want me to say? You knew what you were getting into.
Really?
Well, I'm sorry we don't measure up to your exacting standards, Dr. Collins. Maybe you just need to give us ordinary humans a break.
What? Ordinary humans like Lizzie Graves? Did you really think that I wouldn't find out? Frank told me, or did you forget there's one person in this shithole who actually talks to me?
Kate, it was just a drink.
Don't bother, Stephen!
Oh, for Christ's sake. Kate, slow down.
You were engaged to her, Stephen. You nearly married her.
Oh, come on, it was just a drink.
Then why the hell did you lie to me about it?
Because I knew you'd be mad and then it would end up in a row. You wanted to focus on the event tonight.
Oh, so you were actually doing me a favor. Wow, I guess I just forgot to say thank you. Do not treat me like I'm an idiot.
You're overreacting. I know you're stressed.
Just don't. You keep away from me. I'm not gonna let you ruin this for me.
Kate, come on, this is crazy.
No, I think that's the most sane thing that she's done all of this whole entire playthrough. So yeah, as I say, follow the light and the light will lead you to the story. Even if you feel like you're going backwards and forwards and to places you've been before, you know, the light is there to lead you through the story. So, you know. And it will wait for you. They are quite patient. Here for a reason. I wonder if this is the bunker that he was talking about, or the path, essentially, that he and Lizzie were going to try and escape through. Oh no, it definitely seems like a bunker, doesn't it? Paint splashed on the floor. Hello?
When I was a kid, my dad found a fox. It had been hit by a car and couldn't walk anymore. My mum went spare, of course. Made him keep it in the shed. He was already slipping away from us then. He spent hours with that fox, telling it all about Italy and the villages they bombed there. I was jealous, I think. That the fox got more of my dad than I did. But it was dying, that was clear. So one day, I snuck out, took it a sandwich for food. I was only 8. When it bit me, I remember the anger, the shock, the hurt. Running in, screaming from the garden. My mum panicking about rabies. My dad beat it to death with a spade. Later I found him crying. I'd done it, Ken, son. That's what he said. I'd done it, Ken, it was hurting you. That's just a poor, dumb, dying animal. It doesn't know it's hurting us. Christ help us, it's left the valley. It's everywhere now. It's been 3 hours since the planes went over. I haven't been able to reach anyone on the shortwave. I'm beginning to think I may have made a terrible miscalculation.
Oh. When that you couldn't actually stop it, and you ordered the deaths of all those people when you couldn't actually stop it. Not everybody was infected, you know. Not everybody was. Wendy wasn't. Lizzie wasn't. They died because of the planes. So did Rachel and Charlie. You know. Didn't seem to be infecting everybody at all. Right. Let's see what happens here.
You understand me, don't you? Well, there's no one left. Just me. You know what this is? What I'm gonna do? You want light? Fine. I'll give you light. After me, there's no one. You'll be all alone again. Forever. Like before. You've taken everyone I've ever loved from me. You've made me do things I never even thought I was capable of. But if you think I'm coming with you... Kate? Wait. Stop. Kate.
This is Catherine Collins. I don't know if anyone will ever hear this. It's all over. I'm the only one left.